Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. We are here back with another video talking about NBA 2K26. This is kind of bouncing off of my last two videos. If you go back to my channel and watch the last two, the first one I made was kind of just an overhaul about how 2K just needs to just fix a bunch of stuff, right? Watch that. The video I made before this was talking about how I think 2K26 needs to move on from this open-ended builder. Go ahead and watch that. This is kind of just going to be like a series that I do moving up to 2K and kind of just talking about how I feel about the game as somebody who's been playing it for a decade, you know. But in this video, we're going to be talking about the park slash city. We need to move on from the city, okay? Like, I mean, I could end the video there and everybody would agree. You know what I mean? But I want to get a little more in depth into it and kind of just talk about what's worked in the past and why haven't they done it in the future, and hopefully they do it in the future. But let's get into it. So we have had this city, not the same city obviously, but the city for 5 2Ks. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 5 2Ks we've had the city. Now, they have made it smaller, right? We've all seen it. I mean, yes, it has gotten smaller, but not small enough. Genuinely, like, it needs to be smaller, bro. I thought the perfect size for the park was the park that was in 19 and 20. It was a square, and it had everything right there. Move on, right? You know, you didn't have too much moving around to do. Sure, maybe you had to walk to a store that was a minute away, but you didn't have to go all over to do things, right? It was all right there. You know, if you wanted to go to Antioch, it was right there. If you wanted to go to Pearl Am, it was right there. If you wanted to go to Rec, it was right there. If you wanted to go to the park, it was right there. If you wanted to go to the store, it was right there. Your apartment, right there. The office where you go and pick up your checks, right there. I mean, there was nowhere else you had to go. It was just everything was right there. Now, I didn't mind the setup of 17, how, you know, you could kind of go through the TPs to the parks. That was nice too. And then you could buy all the clothing through a dashboard menu, right? You didn't have to go nowhere. It was just right there. I feel like we've gotten to a point, and I can kind of mix this into the builder, right? My point in the last video was talking about how I feel like we need to go back to the more simple builder because it allows us to spend less time making a build and more time playing the game. I feel the same way about the city. We're spending more time not playing the game because we have to move around so damn much, and more time moving around. Why would I want to spend more time not playing the game? Now, is this a ploy for 2K to make us spend more time on their game by having us have to move all over the place, having to spend hours on a build, having to spend more money because we messed up our build by 2 stats? I don't know. I don't have those answers, obviously. Um, but yeah, I just don't want to see the city again. I call it something else. I don't know. My aquarium. I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? I'm not the gameplay developers or creators. But what I could say is we should just go back to my park. That's as simple as I could keep it, bro. The park. The park. Not the city. The park. It should just be that easy. People have been saying get rid of the city since 2K21. People have been saying we need to get rid of the city. We need to get rid of the city. 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 And it hasn't happened. I don't know why. They think that just changing the look of the city is going to change people's minds. It doesn't. It really doesn't, because it's still big as shit. The current city is still big as shit compared to a park. A park. You know, like, you tried it in 2K21 with bringing back affiliations. You couldn't go back to the old one, so it flopped. Then you reduced it down to 2 affiliations, and it's a little bit better. Elite and Rise, it's cool. It's alright. But it's just not the same. The parks are just alright. The layout is atrocious. The Rise Park layout, I just hate, bro. I don't know. I just hate how everything, like, especially when the game first came out, like, how can y'all make these maps and then look at it from above and then still have courts that are being blocked from the camera above? Like, how does that even make sense? And then y'all have to go back and fix all these camera angles. Sure, that's kind of a petty thing to argue about or complain about, but at the end of the day, y'all have the whole year to make the game. Um, but I won't get into the petty stuff. It's mostly like I just shrink it down to a park again, bro. Just make everything right there. Stop making us run all over the place, and make these affiliations a little more exciting. Also, the next video I'm getting into the damn rep rewards because, bro, no, no. I'm gonna get into that in another video, but that's about it for this video. Moral of the story is, get rid of the city. Just make a square with everything right there. Peace.